Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your December 2022 Tarotscope. If you're curious about the decks that I'm using today, you can find a list of them in the description box below. You can also find links to my social media accounts, as well as links to information on personal readings and the Soul Good membership channel on Telegram. I would like to remind you that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading, so please only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. There will be a timestamp in the description box below as well for those who would like to bypass shuffling. Let's take a look at what you've got going on this month, Sagittarius. We are going to be looking at what's being activated for you this month. How is what's being activated going to help you? Gaining some clarity or diving deeper on that, as well as looking at why is this important for your soul's journey and getting some guidance, advice, or encouragement for you moving forward. Before we jump into shuffling, I do want to share with you, I keep feeling like my voice is changing. It feels almost like um my throat chakra is blocked, I guess is a way that you could refer to this. I feel like for some of you, you haven't been in your truth or haven't been speaking your truth, right? There's an element of holding things back. So you did give some things in truth, but other things not so much, or you were able to scratch the surface of your truth but not dive deep into it, something like that, because I feel like this month could be for you, Sagittarius, a month of clearing your throat chakra. Okay, or another way to put that would be speaking your truth. Okay, so let's take a look what's being activated for you this month. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, what is being activated? Thank you. That was fast. That was so fast. How is what's being activated going to help Sagittarius, please? Okay, thank you. Here's the thing, Sag. I feel like for somebody, which this, I don't know, this feels like it could be specific for somebody. Either you have Scorpio placements, like heavy Scorpio placements, or one of your big three, or there's could be somebody in your life who has heavy Scorpio placements and does have an impact on your life. Maybe that's who you're not sharing things with. I'm not really sure, but there's something about Scorpio here. Okay, so if you do have heavy Scorpio placements or are curious about a Scorpio in your life, maybe take a look at that reading as well. Let's get some clarity. Okay, thank you. Just the, wow, that's not what I expected at all. Based on how many cards you have here, I was not thinking you just have one there, so that's going to be interesting. Why is this important for Sagittarius's soul journey, please? Why is what's taking place this month important for Sagittarius's soul journey? Thank you. Okay, just the one as well. That's interesting. So before we even dive deeper into the cards, I feel like whatever it is, it feels like there's one thing, right? There's one key thing that you're meant to be grasping from all of these other things, right? So all of these cards here, it's like there's a key element, I feel. We'll see. But that's just what I'm picking up on intuitively. Can we please have some guidance, advice, or encouragement for Sagittarius moving forward through the... Thank you. That was so fast. I feel like you guys are ready to chat. It's like, I'm here for this. Tell me all the things, right? It feels like your energy's open, which is beautiful. All right, what's being activated for you this month? You have crown chakra upgrade, divine connection, holy experiences, miraculous energy. I do feel, and I did feel while I was shuffling, this energy of that connection with source, God, universe, whatever you refer to it as. Just for clarity, I typically refer to it as God. You obviously, you can believe whatever you choose or call it whatever you choose. I don't really care either way. Just know that I will be using that terminology. And it's not to push any sort of religion or anything like that. I do believe in God. I do believe that Jesus Christ walked this earth to try to help um, the people during that time to connect with God, their creator. And I feel like, through his workings and the workings of others, we've been able to do that. Okay, so just moving forward. I feel like there is an element here of like God or source or universe trying to call you back to it. I feel like for some of you, you may have kind of lost your way, if you will. And if you're not in this space now, I feel like you were previously, right? I feel like your connection with God is something that is being nurtured, right? So it feels like I'm actually kind of seeing it like a plant growing, right? Like it's actually needing that nourishment. I feel like if this isn't something, okay, wait, let me rephrase that. If this is something you've been doing already, like you started, right? And you're like in that space right now where you are essentially growing a relationship with God, I feel like this month is going to continue to strengthen that. You may even have proof, if you will, of God working in your life in miraculous ways or having experiences that you can't understand. Okay. You may even get messages in your dreams, right? You could be, I don't, this is really interesting, you guys, getting this message, but I feel like it could be like, oh, I talked to God in my dream, right? Or something like that. For some, maybe that's for someone very specific, but I am getting that energy coming through. So yeah, I mean, I feel like, and here's the thing, if you haven't been doing this already, I feel like God is trying to encourage you to seek that relationship, right? Because it feels like to me like God's like, hey, I love you, I care about you, I would like for you to come back to me, right? And I feel like you probably know this. I feel like to some extent, like, again, even if it's only just started in the month of December, I feel like to some extent you know this. Like, I feel like you know or have known that God has wanted you closer to it. And I feel like this month is about strengthening that relationship, regardless of where it has been. Okay, so even if you've been working on it already, or if you are just starting fresh today, I really feel like God is trying to call you back. I feel like, and you could potentially be seeing God moving in your life. And maybe it's just the smallest of things, right? Um, things just kind of working out, right? But I feel like God is trying to show you that it's moving in your life, and I feel like God is trying to bring you closer to it. Okay? So I feel like that is being activated for you this month. Again, strengthening that divine connection. Um, and having likely new experiences that maybe you don't know how to explain. Wow. Yeah, God is definitely trying to call you home. For sure. And I don't mean home like leaving this plain home. I mean home like come back to source, come back to your truth, come back to that which gives you life, that which is your constant support, your protection, your perfect fulfillment of every need, right? Because you do have sword of light here as well. It's divine protection, cords cut, and breakthrough energy. So again, I feel like first, God is protecting you, right? Your yeah, I feel like God has been protecting you. I feel like if you're watching this, there are some of you who are going to be like, holy crap, because I feel like you may have experienced things in your life where like, God was with me. God was definitely with me that day, right? Even if you struggled to believe in God, even if you've struggled, I feel like you have had experiences in your past where you're like, there's no way that there wasn't something looking out for me on this occasion. And I feel like that's because like God has been trying to keep you, again, keep you protected so that you could arrive at this point in your life. And I feel like some of you even tested God, like, ooh, let me see how much danger I can put myself in, how threatening of a space I can be into my existence. And I feel like God still showed up for you. God still pulled you through whatever that was. That's powerful as shit. I don't care who you are. That is so powerful. And that is for somebody or a couple of people, or like a handful of people. Like, I don't feel like that's for everybody. But if you resonate with that, like, I definitely feel like God's like, yeah, you were like, catch me, Lord, and jumped off the edge of the cliff, right? Like, we're just like testing God. You may have even been like, I got like 9 lives, right? Because God has been protecting you this whole time. I do want to read this card for you. I'm going to be reading both the interpretation of the card and the message that comes with the card, because there may be something extra there for someone, and it might give us a little bit more depth on what you're experiencing currently and what's being activated. Just give me a moment. Okay. So it says here, the Sword of Light is the main energetic tool of Archangel Michael, the Prince of Heaven. His name means he who is like God, and he is considered Source's right-hand man. He is the archangel who has chosen to guide and protect all light workers, anyone who is feeling called to make a difference on this planet can be guided and supported by him. The Sword of Light has been pictured as both a spear of light and a lightning bolt. Either way, it's a powerful symbol of truth and spiritual power. Even though it is carried by Michael, it can be invoked by all of those working in the light to help them move beyond blockages and limitations and to sever cords of fear. Joan of Arc invoked it when she was going into battle. When this card comes to you, know that it is confirmation that you are walking the path of light and responding to pre-incarnation soul contracts to make a difference on the planet. It's also a sign that you have the opportunity to sever connections to fear and limitations. Energetic cords bind us to situations, loved ones, and even the past. But you are in transition now and detaching from unnecessary connections, dramas, and fears. Know that there will be a great severing at this time, and you might feel isolated for a moment, as you will be reconfiguring your circle of trust and moving into a life that is in greater alignment with your highest good. Know that the cords that bind you to loved ones and soul family will remain intact. It's only the lower vibrational connections that are being severed. Expect breakthroughs and doors of opportunity opening for you. If you feel strongly connected to Archangel Michael, know that his energy is with you now, right? So again, I feel like God has been protecting you. Archangel Michael has likely been protecting you as well, right? Keeping you safe until the moment that you are able to align with your highest good so that you can do what you came here to do. Okay? And with this sort of light, with this protection, right, with this calling, I mean, yeah, if you resonate with the term light worker, I would say that's most definitely what you're here for. It's part of your purpose, right? To help people, to help others. And I don't feel like you've even scratched the surface of stepping into that for many of you, right? And I feel like what is taking place through the month of December, right, is meant to be, again, like the book said, severing these lower vibrational connections, right, freeing you from those frequencies. And I feel like that is happening in large part because I feel like next year is going to be about, at least I found in my readings through the Soul Good membership channel, that it's about soul sovereignty and freedom, right? Freeing ourselves from any limitations, any preconceived notions, any outdated beliefs, any woundings, traumas, people, places, things that have kept us from aligning with what our purpose here is, right? That have essentially had us wasting, I shouldn't say wasting a bunch of time because we've learned so much. It's never a waste of time, but, have prevented us from really stepping into alignment with what we're here for, right? And so now it's like we need to help you to sever yourself from these energies so that you can break through the barriers that have been holding you back and really truly step into your purpose. So how is what's being activated going to help you? You have 5 cards here. So let's see. Acceptance. You are ready to release control of situations or people and lovingly embrace the rhythm of life. Yeah, and here's the thing. I feel like that's why God is trying to show you this currently, right? Why these things are being activated for you to show you um, that that rhythm of life, right? The loving embrace of God has been carrying you. And if you would, how do I word this? Like, I feel like somewhere in your being, it's quite possible that you know that if you were to just let God kind of do his do its thing, that you would experience far less challenge or obstacle than you have previously, right? Because I feel like there's some part of you that has tried to deny this divine connection, whatever that looks like, right? Like the connection that you have with God, the connection that you have with a higher purpose and a reason for being here. Those connections. I feel like there's a part of you that has denied that. And so these things being activated is meant to help you accept who you truly are, accept that you feel things, accept that you know things, accept that you have a purpose here, accept that you are enough, accept all of these sorts of things. Right? And I feel like that would also help you. So here's the thing about, or that I've experienced. Yeah, gosh, look at this, like this truth energy coming out your throat chakra. Um, I've experienced several Sagittarius people. Okay. And what I've experienced with them, oh my gosh, I can't believe my throat is like doing this thing. You guys have I feel like you have a lot of truth to be speaking. So I feel like that's part of the acceptance, right? Is being truthful and accepting things for what they are. Um, but anyways, I have friends that are Sagittarius or, Sagittarius suns. And something I've noticed about some of them is that now, obviously, I'm no astrologer, but I do know that all of your other placements play a part in who you are, not just your sun sign, okay? However, again, something I've noticed is that when Sagittarius, like, it's like when the thrill of something runs out, right? When that honeymoon phase, when you experience something, whether it's a person, a hobby, a job, whatever it is, like when that runs out, a lot of times you want to go the other way. You want to go somewhere else. You want to run, I don't want to say run necessarily, but it's like, okay, I'm going to do something, like I'm going somewhere else now, right? And that's very transient energy. And I feel like for some of you, because you have experienced that, right? Because you've done it yourself, I feel like there's a fear of, okay, well, what if this person gets bored with me? Or something. Or what if they change their mind, right? And that's really interesting. It's really, really interesting, right? Because I feel like it's like you are ready to release control of situations or people. And this is acceptance, this truth. And I feel like I want to let me just pause for a moment and say, like, I'm not bashing you or looking down on you or judging you in any way, shape, or form for the choices that you've made. They're your choices. It's your life. You have had to do what is best for you in each given moment, whatever that looks like, right? However, I feel like the reason, like, there's a reason this is being shown to you, and there's a reason it's coming through for me in this way, because I feel like there's a fear of not being, like, interesting enough or valuable enough or something to be accepted. So it's like a double-edged sword. Like, it's you accepting yourself, but also realizing, like, people will accept you. Like, people aren't just going to, get bored for you, and the people, or get bored with you, and the people that have done that, that you've experienced that with, right? There's something that I want you to understand, and that is there are people who are in your life for a season, right? They have a specific reason for being in your life at that time. You're meant to learn something, you're meant to grow, and then you're meant to move on, or they're meant to move on, right? So it's nothing personal. The people that are meant to be with you will. But life is a cycle of death and rebirth in all things we do, jobs, our bodies, our relationships. I mean, if you really look back on the course of your life, you have likely been, died and been reborn several times, right? And so some things are just like that, right? But I feel like because you've experienced from your state of being this transient, like, oh, that's no longer fun, I'm done with it now. Oh, that's not fun, I'm done with that now. Oh, this is, whatever, I'm over it, type of thing. I feel like you struggle to accept that you could have value, that someone could accept you for who you are in all, you know, um, in all that you are, right? I don't know why. It's very interesting. Maybe that's for somebody really specific, but I definitely feel like there's an element here of letting God carry you through the rhythm of life, right? What else? Satisfaction. You let the energy of love guide you to self-approval yeah, so that others no longer define who you are, right? And that's the thing. Like if you know yourself fully, completely, and you love yourself unconditionally, you have zero fear about who's walking in and out of your life, regardless of the reason. You have zero fear at all, right? Because you know that that's it's for them. It has nothing to do with you. And you know your own value, right? You appreciate what you have. You see your own worth. And when you love yourself, your worth is pretty freaking high, right? So again, I feel like this is meant to be healing these things within you to show you that you are worthy enough. You are enough. You are, like, I can't say that enough times, actually, right? Like you don't need to be anything else, right? Yeah, I'm getting fear. Oh my gosh, excuse me, pardon me. I'm getting fear. And I think there is a fear of this. I think this has been a very deep-seated fear for some of you, right? This one that, like, I'm not enough. I need to be something else in order to be worthy of X, Y, or Z, whatever that is. Even that connection with God, I feel like some of you are like, there's no way God would talk to me. There's no way. There's no way. You know what I mean? But really, God has been trying to show you time and time again. You have forgiveness. You are now able to activate the power of love in order to release past hurts. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like, it's interesting because I feel like there have been people again who have, like, left your life, right? And you may have again taken it personal, and I feel like this is about forgiving them, but also forgiving yourself for taking it so personal, for letting it get to you so much, right? Because we don't know what we don't know. And, like, if we don't understand that some people are just in our life for a season and they have a reason for being there for that specific amount of time, and then they are to exit in whatever fashion, we take it personal, and then we find anger and pain and suffering, and we struggle to let that go, and then we carry it, and it affects every part of our being, right? It pollutes everything that we are, and tells us that we're not enough, and tells us that we're not worthy, and it is likely nothing, it's likely that it's so far from the truth, right? And so I feel like, yeah, this is about healing from that, and you seeing, like, literally God showing you you are more than enough. As a matter of fact, I have chosen you, right? Some of you may not resonate with that. That's perfectly fine, right? But for some of you, yeah, it's like God has, like, I have chosen you. Don't you see? You are enough. Do you not realize how blessed you are? Have you looked around, right? Have you taken inventory of all the ways that I have blessed you? It's really interesting. Look at this, priorities. You understand the paramount importance of manifesting love in all situations. Yeah, I feel like here's the thing, it's interesting, right? Because how is what's being activated going to help you? And you have priorities here. First of all, I feel like it's going to help you to understand that you are important. Like that's one of the bigger things, first of all. Okay? Like you are a priority, right? In the grand scheme of things. Like even if you don't see it that way, like God sees it that way, right? So I feel that's part of this. I feel another part of this is, and maybe God will show you this in some way, shape, or form, but I feel like there's an element here of coming to an understanding that we are all energy, right? Energy is all around us. Everything is energy. And God speaks energy. And if we're sitting in this state of anger, of pain, of suffering, of things don't ever work right, of I am not enough, of all these things, God is going to give you what you want. You are going to manifest these situations to prove yourself right. And you will act on them to prove yourself right. Okay? And you keep putting that energy out, and it's very cyclic, and it keeps finding its way back to you, and it keeps finding its way back to you, and keeps finding its way back to you. I feel like God is trying to talk to you and let you know, like, if you can move from a different way of being, if you can stop seeing yourself as this wounded bird and understand that you are enough, you matter, you are important, you have purpose here, right? And you make that the priority. You are intentional about being in that energy, love for yourself, love for you being here, gratitude and love for your creator and all that it has done for you, love for the people in your life, love for all of these experiences that you've had, right? Then you start to see and experience love in everything that you do. And I want to lovingly say that when you grasp this concept, it's very easy to make love a priority. Very easy. Right? Like once you decide and you are like, this is what I need to make happen, it's very easy. Because you don't want to be bringing the nonsense and the bullshit back upon yourself. Right? Like I know that might sound really selfish, but it's like I'm not trying to manifest like this nonsense into my life. And so you are able to find yourself sitting in love far more easily than you may have ever in the past. It's easy to make it a priority. And finally, here you have virtue. You acknowledge that your loving spiritual attributes. Okay, let me try that again. You acknowledge your loving spiritual attributes that encourage others to grow. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think that again, I don't think you've seen how important you are. I don't think you've seen how valuable you are. And I think actually, if I remember correctly, Sagittarius, I feel like this is a conversation we have quite a bit in these readings where you undermine your value, you undermine your importance, you undermine how much you truly matter to the people that you cross paths with, especially those that grow to love you, right? Or that just love you with ease, right? But still, I feel like even though these people show you so much love, I feel like you still question whether or not you are enough for them, right? And I feel like through the month of December, you may find yourself in experiences or being brought back to certain experiences, creating this like breakthrough energy where someone has tried to show you how much they love you. Someone has tried, or multiple someones have tried to show you how important you are, and you have denied that love. Right? or they've tried to express, like, you've changed my life, you've brought joy to my life, you've brought these things to my life, right? Like, that your existence within their reality is something that is important for them, is something that, again, has encouraged them to be better in some way, shape, or form. And I feel like you could find yourself being brought back to these moments again, so you can have these breakthroughs on this, right, to help you moving forward, so that you can trust when people tell you that they love you, when people tell you that you mean something to them. I feel like this is being brought up so that you can trust them. Yeah. So remember what I said about God wanting to call you back home, and how I felt very strongly about that? You also have this King of Pentacles. Now, in this particular deck, the King of Pentacles reminds me of Jesus. Like, I know there's a glare from the light, the ring light, but hopefully you can see that. He looks an awful like, these artist renditions we've seen of Jesus. And the King of Pentacles represents the provider, right? And if we think of Jesus as the doorway to God, aligning with Jesus, aligning with God, your provider, right? And accepting that allows one to experience abundance and prosperity in their life. And in this particular deck, like, he's holding a cross on a scepter, right? He's got that pentacle in his hand, like, I have everything you need. But it is definitely like, how is what's being activated going to help you? Now look at all of these things, right? And then we're bringing this fatherly, divine father, provider type of energy into the mix to say, this is going to help you to strengthen your relationship with your provider, your creator, as well as allow you to align with abundance and prosperity. I'm like, and it's not an accident, Sagittarius. You have this crown chakra upgrade with divine connections, holy experiences, miraculous energy, followed by the sword of light from Archangel Michael with divine protection. And now the King of Pentacles, which again in this deck looks a lot like Jesus, which represents again that provider, the bringer of abundance and prosperity, right? And here's the thing, even in so I have this like little prayer type thing that I say, right? And the first line of it is, Father, Mother, Life, you are my life, my constant support, my health, my protection, my perfect fulfillment of every need, and my highest inspiration. That is what this card is representing to me in this moment. And I feel like God is trying to bring you back. God is trying to show you you are not alone and you matter. So why is this important for your soul's journey? It's the age of light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. Because again, why is this important? Because you've been training for this for lifetimes. Even if you only look at lifetimes as how many times in this incarnation, right, from the time you were born until now, where you've experienced these essential deaths and rebirths, right, where you've transformed from one way of being to another, right? You've been training for this for lifetimes. That is why this is important for you. You have a mission, a purpose on this planet to step forward in this age of light, in this new era of peace and love, and do work for the betterment of the collective, of humanity. And I want to say December is a universal 9 month, which does, uh, what is it? Mean, does, is defined rather as being, first of all, about closures and transitionary periods and completing things, right? But it's also about being a humanitarian and being of service to other people, which is what Jesus was, which is why you would train for this for lifetimes, which is why you would be here during this age of light, which is why I would have, mentioned the term like light worker, which is why it showed up in that sort of light card. It's not an accident. None of it's an accident. I'm actually going to read this to you. For some of you, I feel like for some of you, you were like, what is that card? I want to know what the book says about that card. Where is it? Sorry if that was loud. Okay. Let me see what, oh, there it is. I almost missed it. Okay. It says here, mystics and sages throughout the ages have predicted this period in history, and you decided to incarnate in the middle of it. There is no mistake that you are supposed to be here at this time of great change. If you ever feel unprepared or daunted by the path that is calling you, know this: you've been training for this for lifetimes. You're way more than the days that have breathed through you in this life. You're also all of the lifetimes that came before. All of these experiences have polished your soul into the most magnificent expression that is your authentic self. Your soul has many facets. Imagine a fingerprint. Your soul is 1,000,000 times more intricate than that. If you put together all of the fingerprints of all of the people you have been, you would not even get close to fathoming how much of a unique masterpiece you are. You came in with a clear soul plan. You came in with wisdom beyond your years. This is the part of you that longs to be seen. This is the part of you that is ready to step forward, that is ready to emerge. This is not the lifetime to stay hidden, but to step forth, be seen, and rise. Right? So again, this is important for your soul journey because it is helping you to align with your purpose, because God has bigger plans for you than what you think you're doing here. Right? And I feel like this is being shown to you in the month of December, if you allow yourself to see it. And maybe, I'm praying that you will. Maybe you'll still continue to deny it, even if you've seen it here. But I hope you don't. I hope that you allow God to penetrate your life in every single way, shape, and form, and that you truly do see how valuable you are, how much you do matter, and how much you are loved. Guidance, advice, or encouragement for you moving forward. Honor your feelings. Yeah. This is Archangel Hanael. Thank you, Hanael, for supporting me as I honor my emotions. Yeah, this is about you being truthful with you, accepting every bit of who you are, right? Again, I feel like some of you have been in certain situations where maybe they did make you happy, and where somebody did show you love, and you had all of these emotions and you had all of these feelings, and instead of honoring what it is you felt, you turned the other direction because you were afraid that you would lose it, that it would escape you in some way. So I feel the angels are telling you to honor your feelings. Not only that, but you are going to be able to start trusting yourself once you start honoring your feelings, once you start honoring yourself. And once you start trusting yourself, Sagittarius, you're going to start trusting other people, like really trusting them, right? Not one of those like, oh yeah, honey, I trust you. But in the back of your mind, you're like, why do you love me? Why are you here? When, are you going to leave? You're probably just going to leave me, huh? Right? Like, you might say like, yeah, I trust you, but I feel like, there's that conversation inside. And so again, once you start to trust yourself, you'll start to trust what other people tell you. And again, I feel like this is part of why God is moving in your life the way that it is. to show you that you can trust not only God, but you can trust the people around you as well, right? Because God is protecting you. God doesn't want anything in your life that shouldn't be there. And so if you're experiencing a loss of things, or you're like, why is this not working? Why is this not working? Why do I feel like I'm hitting a wall? Because God is like, I'm redirecting you. And through that redirection, that is my protection. Right? So don't take it so personal. Yep, and I could quit my job. No, I'm just kidding. Not really. But seriously, this is so fucking on point. It's ridiculous. Like, you cannot make this stuff up. You literally have the Divine Father. What was I just talking about? Right? What did I just share with you? Father, Mother, Life. Inner power with the Divine Father. Divine Father, thank you for co-creating my world with me. Again, God is showing up to say, hey, I am helping you every step of the way. Can you not feel me? Can you not see me? Do you not see the work that I have done in your life? Protecting you, supporting you, creating with you. Blows my mind. You know, and I feel like there's been times when God's been telling you to do certain things or not do certain things, and you have been, you have not been obedient to what God has asked, and it's still, even though it might have been, not the most pleasurable of experiences, I still feel like God is still trying to help you get back on the right track, or has tried to help you get back on the right track, always pushing you in the direction that you should be going. And I feel like at the end of the day, like, even though you've essentially turned your back on God, God has never turned its back on you. Like, I really do feel that. I really do feel like you've been supported tremendously and far beyond what you realize or even possibly imagine. You have here peace and harmony, Archangel Raguel. So I feel like this is more like advice, but also encouragement, or yeah. So I feel like there's a message here of like, if you can find a way to allow yourself to experience these things with a very open heart, with a very open mind, and allow yourself to sink into the truth, I feel like it will bring peace and harmony into your life, first of all. Second of all, aligning with your purpose makes things seem far less heavy, far less challenging. Also, having God in your corner, right? Having that companion through life, knowing that there is something bigger supporting you, can also help to bring peace and harmony into your life. So I feel like this is happening for a lot of reasons. And I feel like the encouragement here is to seek that peace and harmony by seeking that connection with the divine source, God, whatever you call it. And working on strengthening that connection further and further, more and more every single day, right? And I feel like you could start to experience this peace and harmony as you move into January. You could be having a different experience. And I'm not saying that your whole external or physical reality could change, but I feel like the way that you feel internally about yourself, your experiences, the way you move through the world and how you view the world could change tremendously if you allow it to. I really hope, Sagittarius, that something in this reading resonated with you. Thank you so much for being here. If there was something that did resonate with you, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, subscribing, and or commenting. It really does help the channel to grow so much. YouTube pushes the videos out, right? The ones that people like and the ones that they comment on. YouTube pushes those videos out to, bring in other people who may find this information valuable or important to them. So I really do appreciate that. I thank you for that so very much. I am sending you the biggest of hugs, truly. As you move through this month, please know that you are so, so loved, right? I love you. God loves you. You are so loved. And keep that in mind as you move through these challenges, as you move through facing yourself and honoring yourself, because I feel like it's going to be very, very helpful for you as you move through this journey through the month of December. Have an incredible month full of love and joy, forgiveness, acceptance, right? Take care of your beautiful, beautiful soul. And I hope to see you in 2023. Bye.